Hey guys, I hope you are well, or as well as you possibly can be. It's your girl, Jasmine, and I am coming at you live to talk a little bit about the April astrology. I'm really looking forward to the month of April, and I feel like if you're one of the many of us that is processing the Oscars last night, then you got a little taste of what April feels like. Hi everyone, thank you for joining. So just, if you can already tell by the title, obviously talking about April astrology, initiation and impulse is the energy. And I'm really excited about this because I think a lot of us, especially for those that sort of dance with anxiety at all, can become chronic overthinkers, and we can get really stuck in overthinking the decisions that we're going to make, who we are, what we want to do, how people are going to perceive what we do. And when it comes to this Aries energy, let me know if you're already feeling this. Cracked the fuck out. Yes. Insane. I feel absolutely crazy, but I'm enjoying every single second of it, because if you are someone who tends to ruminate, to stay stuck in your own head and your own mind and not allow yourself to exit enough to actually do and be in the action of doing and be in the action of creating, this is the perfect energy to work with. So I'll talk a little bit about what April will feel like, but in summation, overall, impulse, right? Moving out of the mind, out of the thinking, out of the ruminating, out of the contemplating, out of the what if, and moving into doing and creating and initiating. And initiation, right? There's going to be so many opportunities for planting seeds that are not just like fun little cute experiences or romances for the weekend. Like, we're setting ourselves up for longevity and for experiences that are going to kind of color in our lives and our environments for like a very long time. So this is a really karmic month. Obviously, I mean, it's always important, but like now is the time to really pay attention with like what ideas are coming into your head, what people are coming into your life, what opportunities are you being invited to say yes to, and how can you get out of your own way and like actually feel not need to feel ready. That is the thing. I think there's this Miley Cyrus lyric. I love Miley Cyrus. And she has a lyric that says, I'd rather just do it and then I'll think about it later. Sometimes we are not going to feel ready to start the relationship or to get the tattoo or to put out your idea or whatever it is. Sometimes we are always waiting for the ready. And when the ready doesn't actually arrive, we miss the opportunity or we miss the chance. And it's so worth noting that the ready comes when you are in the doing, when you are pushing yourself off of the ledge. It's always the scariest when you are kind of like about to jump and you never feel like, yes, I've unclenched and I'm ready. But it is in the free fall that you kind of find yourself and you find ease in the act of falling. So we're all about falling right now. I hope that makes sense. I always talk in metaphors that never like actually make sense. But yes, so Aries is a cardinal sign. We're in Aries season, and cardinal signs are initiators. They are the doers. So while we've been in a lot of different periods, a lot of different eras, a lot of different chapters, some of them have been reflection and observation and, really sitting and thinking, being in this cardinal era. And I mean, I think you guys witnessed last night. I mean, just everything about that whole situation was very much like, do it and think about it later, and know that even if there's regret, there is so much to be learned, so much nectar in the act of doing before you think. So know that when we're in a cardinal season, this is all about initiation, this is all about doing. So obviously, of course, things don't have to be as drastic, but whatever your mind has kept you from acting in because of just contemplation of how it'll be received or what it'll feel like or just fear at all, now is the time to kind of jump and do and think about later. Embrace impulsivity, especially if you're someone who's a chronic overthinker. However, if you are someone who has a lot of innate Aries energy in you, or you just are someone who like doesn't struggle with making decisions, you probably want to find some grounding right now because you could be feeling crazy. So it is worth noting that like if you find yourself in that category, figure out what finding yourself in a state of ease and like returning to grounding looks like. Maybe now would be the time to incorporate more logical thinking or rationality into your decision making. But I think most of us are people that kind of stand in, well, I do know a couple of Aries that have never thought about a decision ever and just have done and have lived their whole life just running through walls. But a lot of us tend to get stuck in our own minds, stuck in the idea of what something could be rather than the act of figuring it out as it unfolds. So it's very much acting, doing, going, jumping time. And this is, of course, an action, but also just like inner idea. So for some insight, this is such a good month. So we have the new moon in Aries happening on the 1st, which is just like, I always say that this is the actual new year. I know we celebrate the new year before, there's so many different opportunities, but like Aries being the first sign of the zodiac and this being the new moon, the lunation of initiation and seed planting, this is really the opportunity, like the most opportune space to cultivate and create action and ideas and formation for what it is that you want to live in and be and do and create in this next era of your life. And yes, we have this new moon in Aries on the 1st, which is Friday, I believe. Venus entering Pisces, which I am so excited about. And I'll talk more about that. I'll probably talk about these more as they like happen. But what I really want to emphasize, honestly, if anyone wants to like jot down, the 1st being the new moon, great opportunity for setting intention. Venus entering Pisces on the 5th, great opportunity for spiritual expansion, relationship shifts. But the 12th, April 12th is when Jupiter is conjoining Neptune in the sign of Pisces, which has not happened, and I have the number here, in 166 years. I feel like, can you even contemplate how much time that is? 106, I feel crazy. I feel insane. This Aries season is not okay. But what I will say is the intensity of a transit like this is so gorgeous and potent because it's going to sort of play out the theme and the energy and the backdrop of our lives for the next 12 to 13 years. So what I would really encourage you to do is take that day. I mean, already start walking towards it from the 1st onward, but honestly, take the 12th as a day to return to nature, to return to ocean, to return to whatever you find sacred, your altar. Do a microdose if you want to. Hi, thank you for joining, my love. But ultimately really set intention on what do I want to do? Who do I want to be in this next era of my life? Even if that wanting and that doing looks like surrendering to the organic unfolding and the organic rebirthing of it. But essentially, especially when we have that in the sign of Pisces and so much energy in the sign of Aries, we are in this middle ground of doing and co-creating, right? So understanding that you cannot sit in the back row and envision a life for yourself and think it'll arrive to you if you're just sitting. However, just going and just doing with no direction, no trust, no guidance is going to eventually burn you out. So we want to find ourselves in that soft middle spot of, I know what I want. I know the steps that I need to take towards it. I'm going to take that action and trust in the footsteps that follow. However, there's something larger than me that's guiding me, that's implanting the seeds, the guideposts, the guides that find me. So awareness of the fact that you are doing this alongside something greater than yourself, but that thing that's greater than yourself can't do it for you, right? It's all about integration, all about co-creation. So on the 12th, really set clear intention on, especially when it comes to, the fact that Jupiter is this planet of expansion, of abundance, of largeness, of divinity, and Neptune is also that planet that kind of rules how we connect to whatever we define the divine to be. So much of this is centered on, like, what do I want my legacy to be? Like, when I enter a room and my energy communicates something, when my art is consumed by the consumer, when I do what it is that I feel called to be doing, how is it shifting consciousness? What is it gifting the person that gets to experience it? And how am I also being nourished and fulfilled by it? So like, it's much larger than yourself. And ultimately, if you dedicate and commit your life to living your truth and honoring and committing to your purpose, the fulfillment, the joy, the play, and the pleasure that comes from that is ultimately setting ourselves up for living in our fullest potential. So like, what does life look like when you are actively living in your fullest potential, and how can you arrive there, or rather understand that you are in the standing of it and that it'll arrive to you within co-creation? And if there's action to take, right, if that means that you need to put that blog out, or you need to initiate however your creative platform is, are you ready to take that step? Are you ready to take that jump? And like I emphasized before, yes, 222, honey, I love that for us. Because I think this is the most important part really to hone in, is that we wait for ourselves to be ready, and the ready never arrives. There's no mother that's like, yep, I'm like, we cannot wait for the absence of fear, because fear is always going to be there. It is rather, how do we cultivate healthy tools to respond and work alongside fear? So understand that, like, if you're on that ledge, it's never going to, like, your body's never going to unclench and say, let's go. It's going to be a, can I witness this fear and still jump, and understand that within the free fall, I will find my ease. I will find my balance. So this impulsivity that is in, it's tangible how impulsive the energy is really just inviting you to fucking do, just jump, just go, and understand that it will, because of the art of co-creation, the universe and just everything is an energetic exchange. And so if you're communicating to the universe that I'm trusting enough that if I free fall and if I jump, something will catch me, whether it's a lesson, whether it's a success that I'm yearning for. And that's kind of where the co-creation comes in, is understanding that there is something larger than you that's going to catch you or color in the experience for you. We're invincible, babe. Oh, I'm so grateful. Honestly, this is such a karmic month, because we're starting it off with the new moon in Aries, and then we are ending it with the new moon eclipse, April 30th. So, like, the people that are coming into our lives right now, the experiences, the opportunities are very, very, very karmic. Oh, yes. Oh, Jess, I love you. Yes, take your time with it. It's not, I know I sent you a little voice note this morning. I've been sending so many this energy, let me know if you guys are feeling it, but, like, this Aries energy is just so, it's volatile, but I appreciate it, because I feel like change happens when there's movement. And I think that, like, even if our movement is erratic, we're still doing, and we still kind of find ourselves in the contrast of it. So yes, all in all, in summation, because I'm a Twaka, honey. April is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous month. It's such a good month. Venus moving into Pisces. I'm a natal Pisces Venus. And then that's going to be, I'll talk more about it as it happens, but, like, that's going to be so incredible for us. This is all about initiation. This is all about impulsivity, right? So allowing yourself to move out of your mind, out of the overthinking, especially if that overthinking is derivative of how will it be received? Can I do it? I'm not ready yet. Allowing yourself to figure out how receptivity means nothing, because your self-worth should be self-resourced, but also just worth noting that, like, you're never going to feel ready. It's just never a thing that's ever going to happen. You're never going to feel fully ready. You're going to find yourself in the act of doing. So embrace impulse, live immediately. My, like, wallpaper right now, which if you haven't changed your wallpaper ever since the spring equinox, definitely do that. I found that to be really, really helpful. But my wallpaper right now says, live immediately and presently. That overthinking can be derivative of trying to play out our timelines in our heads of the future, or reflecting on how similar decisions played out in the past. And when we're present, and when we make our actions from a present place, and we manifest from a present place, the energy is just so much more potent there, because we were just, like, the dialogue is energetically being communicated through the now, rather than, like, that mind stuckness that we can get in. And yeah, like I said, the 12th is such an important date, bro. Jupiter and Neptune are coming together in the sign of Pisces for the first time since, 166 years ago. I don't even know the number that would, like, denote that, but it's going to really last or color in our environments for the next 12 years. So really get acquainted on the fact that we're going to consistently shed skin. So you can't make decisions for who you'll be 12 years from now, because you don't even know who you'll be a month from now. But you can have some awareness of, what do I think my legacy is? What do I think my energy is meant to be communicating in the way that I express myself creatively, and who I am as a friend, as a partner, as a lover? And how can I commit to living a life where I'm in the fullest potential of all of those areas of self? So I wrote down, launch your creative projects, travel the world, create new routines, conquer fears by understanding that you're never going to be in the absence of fear, but rather in a healthy and responsible response to fear. Surrender to the unknown, and most importantly, living a life of our fullest divine potential looks like mastering the art of co-creation, understanding that the universe can't do it for you, but you also can't do it alone, right? You're going to need to take aligned action, but also trust that there's something alongside you, guiding you, and being aware enough and paying enough attention to see that guidance, right? So that guidance is going to come through intuitive impulses, through the people that randomly show up, through the people that are trying to go. And if you are too stuck in ruminating over, should I let this person go or should I take this opportunity? You're going to miss it. And the universe will never punish you, right? It's not like you're, if anything, you are delaying the manifestation of your fullest potential, but you're never evading it. What's meant for you will never miss you, but it's kind of time to show up. It's kind of time to do. So with that being said, this impulse energy is absolutely insane, but I would really invite you to embrace it. I have been spending so much money, not me whispering. I've been spending so much money. I have, and I don't care. I don't care because when everything was in Capricorn, I was so rigid with how I was spending my money, and I learned a lot from that. So there is like an air of responsibility that I'm having, but otherwise, like, if I want it, I'm getting it for myself now. And that's an energetic communication. So be impulsive with the people that you randomly reach out to, with the things that you randomly do, with the ways that you treat yourself without overthinking of like, but can I afford this? Or but can I do this? Is a responsible decision. Understand that movement creates movement. Forward movement begets forward movement. And the more that you communicate to the universe that like, I'm trusting that there's something on the other side that's going to catch me, the more that things are going to catch you. Money is meant to be spent, and that's on what? Period. I love you guys. I'll come back to talk about the new moon on the 1st. Definitely Venus in Pisces on the 5th. And then we'll do something for the 12th because that's a really, really, really important day. I can't stress enough how important that day is. Jupiter conjoining Neptune is game changing. Otherwise, make sure that you are working with this impulse energy. And if you are someone who is inherently impulsive, find some grounding. Put your feet in some grass. But if you're not, work with it. Love you guys. It will come back at me because money is energy. Love you guys. Have a good April.